All right, so we've all been there, right? Like it's like 2 weeks, the week, maybe even the day before a pretty major event, and you're like, man, how am I going to pull this off? I got to do it all. So you end up pulling an all-nighter because you got to put everything together, right? It's too late to get people involved. It's too late to try and, um, you know, call somebody to help you out because it's just too late. You waited too long, and so now you gotta do it yourself, right? So we've all been there. Okay, so how do you avoid that from continuing to happen over and over? Well, I've got a little something for you. It's called a what it takes document. Okay, so this was a game changer for me and our ministry when we started going to a what it takes document. Okay, what this is exactly what it is. It's what it takes for every event that you do. Okay, so this takes a ton of work. I'm gonna be right up front. This takes a ton of work right up front, but once you get it done, this will release your delegation like no other tool that I know that's out there. Okay, this is going to turbocharge your ability to make things happen without having to do it all yourself. Okay, so what you got to do is this. Okay, you got to do this. You got to start with the end in mind. You got to think through, okay, so let's take like a summer camp. All right, so what does it take for you to go to summer camp? All right, so you got to write it all out, and you got to start going backwards. Okay, we're at summer camp, we're registered, we're having a great time. Well, how do we get there? Well, we had to have buses, we had to fill out forms, we had to promote, we had to do all this kind of stuff. So you're writing all this stuff down on a whiteboard. Don't worry about how it looks. Don't worry about spelling. Don't worry about making sure you have all the information. Just write down everything that it takes for you to get there. All right. You got to get leaders. You got to have students. You got to have breakdown of rooms. You got to have all of these things. You're writing all that down as fast as you can on that board. Okay. So you got to start with that. You got to look at your goals. Okay. So how many students did we take last year or, on the missions trip, on the summer camp, right? How many students did we take? Well, we took 75. Well, this year, hey, next year, let's take 90 students, right? So again, you're writing all of these things down as fast as you can. You're going to look at, mistakes that we made. Well, you're looking and say, man, what are the mistakes that we've made going to camp? Well, man, so many times we don't have the forms printed out right, or so many times we don't have enough leaders, or so many times we forget to budget right things. Look at and write down all of those mistakes as well as you're going. Okay. Now what you're going to do is you start organizing all of that. Okay, putting it in a list. You got to get these things done. When do they got to get done? The day before, a week before, a month before, 3 months before, 6 months before, and start thinking through what kind of person or who do we have that could oversee those things. You're writing them out. So, for example, where do you get the forms? What's the bus company that you use? Where do you guys usually stop to get lunch on your way there? What is the information that you send out? What kind of promo material do you usually use? Do you use a video? Do you use a handout? Do you use emails? Write out all those types of things and start thinking through not just what it is, but when you want it done. So maybe this year, we just was too late. We waited too long to get information out. Well, you can write down, hey, instead of doing 3 weeks ahead, man, it would have been better to do it 2 months ahead. Okay, you can write out all that information. Write out all of that vital information. Like I said, all that vital information is websites, phone numbers, contact names, even write in there discount codes or discount amounts. Hey, if you call the bus company, ask for this person. Okay, write out all those things that hey, here's what it costs. Put in the budget for these items. Put in the total budget. And so again, you're trying to put as much information as you can into this document. The idea is this. The idea is that you're able to hand a document to somebody and say, hey, can you run this event? And they don't have to come back to you and ask, hey, where do I get the forms? Hey, who's the bus company that we use? Hey, where do we usually stop for this? Hey, when should I start this promo? Hey, try to think through all the questions that somebody would have if you ask them to run an event, and answer all those questions in this what it takes form. What that does is it allows you to pass that on to somebody and say, I want you to run this event for us. I think you'd be great. Then what you can do is begin to pinpoint people that are good at different areas. Maybe there's some people that are just really good at making phone calls, and but they can't come into the office all the time. So they can reserve your buses. They can reserve maybe the food location. Maybe they can make phone calls to parents and to kids, right? You can start delegating some of those responsibility. Again, the budget allows them to think through critically and make decisions based on the budget to say, hey, usually we spend $200 on camp shirts. Hey, you can spend that much again, because we know that that's what it is. And so you don't have to come to ask me, hey, is it okay if I spend? No, it's in there. Now, if it's way above that, come and get permission. But you already know how much you can spend. So write out all this stuff, okay? Again, this is going to take a lot of work up front, but this is where you can bring in some detailed people. This is where you can bring in some of those people that really enjoy writing out systems, that really like to deep dive into that kind of thing, to initially get all of it out of your head, out of where, everything. You'll get it all out there, get as much as you want. Now, what I'd say is this, is balance information without over information. And what I mean by that is this, is don't give them every single thing, hey, make your phone call, and this is how the phone call should go. And this is exactly what to say, but don't give them so much detail that they have no flexibility or no freedom, but you want to give them a framework that they can run with it and they can make a lot of decisions, right? There's a big difference between delegation and dumping, right? Delegation is giving them the responsibility and the authority. Dumping is giving them responsibility without any authority and just saying, "Hey, you're go do this. I don't want to do this. Get out. I'm not going to talk to you. I'm not going to reconnect with you. I'm not going to." That's dumping, and nobody wants to be dumped on, but they do want to be delegated to. And so, what I mean by that is, again, you're giving this person responsibility and authority. Look, here's your budget. Here's what we typically do. You can make some changes within that. Hey, here's usually where we stop. If you feel like there's a better place to stop, man, let's talk about it. But we give you authority. Hey, hey, here's the budget. If your t-shirt money went up a little bit, but you can save money over here, then it balances out. I'm giving you that authority to do that. Also, it's much easier for that person to bring in a team and begin to say, okay, hey, I'm going to start delegating smaller pieces of this project to different people that are good at these. Maybe one person's really great at design work and can do the logos for you. It can do the t-shirt design for you. And you can delegate those, and they can begin to make timelines for that person because you've put in what it takes, the timelines for the bigger picture. Okay. So this allows you to delegate, give authority, give responsibility, and really empower people to get involved in a very powerful way. So I want to encourage you guys, make it what it takes a tool. For mine, every single one of them has a binder, and it has all of this information in it. And so I want to encourage you guys, take a look at it. You can get more information in my book, Prepare for Impact. There's a whole chapter on it in there, but I want to encourage you guys, take a look, go for it. Increase your delegation.